Hey South America, how are you today? See, I was looking for India but seemed to have discovered a new continent, so I guess it's not all bad anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and massacre your people now. And so it was. Spanish troops shocked the Latin Americans by slaughtering their people, capturing their territories and bleeding them dry. Then fast forward to the 1800s and hey, Spain and Colombia and I'm declaring independence and it's probably not worth your time to stop us. And Spain was like, dude, uncool with the newly established Gran Colombia. Paraguay sought independence and then was like, good evening Spain, I'm declaring independence and keeping all trade of yours to myself along the Paraguay River. Dude, so uncool. And one by one Spanish territory of Rio de la Plata became a mess of disputes and newly independent countries, including where our story starts today. Due to the sheer pressure from unrest, the giant Spanish territory of Rio de Plata collapsed, leading to the independence of Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay. Many of them immediately went into border disputes with one another, and now catching a glimpse of an opportunity to increase further influence in the south, the Empire of Brazil recognized the Republic of Paraguay as it acted like a buffer between the two giants of South America, and almost instantly after this recognition Paraguay started demanding territorial compensation and blocking Brazilian access to the Paraguayan River. And in the midst of this dispute, the Republic of Uruguay had scored itself independence under the Blanco Party, who was pretty friendly to Paraguay. Brazil had previously intervened twice in Uruguay's political affairs by 1855, and in 1863 they put their foot down once again after the remaining Colorados rebelled against the Blancos, who were pretty friendly to Paraguay. And Brazil, now annoyed by the Uruguay shenanigans, issued an ultimatum and pretty soon invaded, and the pretty angered new president of Paraguay, Solano Lopez, immediately started preparing his country for war. Despite having 500,000 citizens, it managed to field a force of 70,000, more than half of what Brazil could even form. However, the state of Lopez's men revealed Paraguay's real strength, as they couldn't even afford necessities such as shoes. Hey Brazil, look over there. The Paraguayan army shocked the giant of South America as it struggled to mobilizing. The Paraguayan forces swept across the province of Mato Grosso, committing some atrocities along the way, and amidst the chaos Argentina was looking increasingly likely it was going to interfere, but decided not to until the Paraguayans sent the Argentines an ultimatum demanding they allow Paraguay access to the Uruguay River. Give me access or it'll give me access. You and what army? This army. Still no. I declare war. So the Paraguayans illegally marching into Argentine territory were seen as a huge threat, and Argentina quickly declared war on Paraguay, and the Paraguayans, already mobilized, marched down the Uruguay River so it can reach Uruguay. But amongst the chaos, the Argentines had mobilized early and launched an attack at Yaute. The Paraguayans fought bravely, holding their positions, but eventually had to retreat due to lack of information, resulting in an Allied victory whose forces quickly moved up to Tutti, but met up with a large Paraguayan force who immediately opened fire on them, and unable to properly set up had to retreat a little bit, which resulted in a Paraguayan victory. And amidst the chaos, the Paraguayan navy had swiftly moved into Riachuelo. President Solano Lopez had given strict orders to Admiral Ignacio Meza to conduct a surprise attack to capture the enemy fleet while it lay rest on the shore, but Meza ignored the orders Lopez had given him and opened fire as soon as he was in range of the Brazilian fleet. Initially the Brazilian fleet was severely damaged, but an offshore Brazilian fleet got word of the attack and swiftly left to attack the Paraguayans. Thick fog made it hard for the sides to attack, and shots were incredibly inaccurate, but the Paraguayan forces were decimated after Meza's line was charged by Admiral Francisco Manuel Barroso. The defeat at Riachuelo marked the turning point in the war. Although the Triple Alliance had driven Lopez out of the Corrientes, they did not know how costly this war would be. Although the Triple Alliance had more numbers, they knew their men were disease-riddled and unmotivated conscripts. However, they ordered them to spearhead across the border and set up camp. However, a Paraguayan division was caught trying to sneak up, which sparked the largest battle in the war, and an ironclad division from Brazil crept along the river to the fortress of Humura. Initially the Brazilians were outnumbered, but Admiral Inácio de Barros ordered a deadly artillery barrage which felt heavy blows to the fortress, which forced it to surrender under the heavy cost of 1,500 soldiers, and Francisco Solano Lopez vanished into the jungle, leaving Asunción exposed and the Allies swiftly occupied the capital, with Paraguay now bogged down with only only 30,000 troops left to spare, they continued to fight, nevertheless defending hard and resulting in heavy losses for the Allied soldiers until a desperate cavalry charge injuring the president of Paraguay Solano Lopez was offered the chance to surrender, who quickly exclaimed, "I die with my country," and was shot dead on the spot with nobody to rule the country. Paraguay surrendered and the war ended. The war was very costly, costing around $1.7 billion in damages, and the damages still affect Paraguay today, especially when after the war the Paraguayan population had dwindled from 525,000 to about 221,000, which still poses a problem to the small Latin country today.